to Solutions Barabarani. We're here at the heart of the Central Business District discussing a social issue that has disintegrated the society and brought much havoc into the economy. You may not have thought of it that way, but yes, alcoholism is one big plague that is really pulling a lot of people down. And today we come here to find out from people on what they think alcoholism is all about and what the way forward will be. Welcome. My name is Wavinya Wanyasa.
Hi, I'm Candy from Nairobi, and we're talking about alcoholism. It's a major factor that is really affecting our country's economy, and especially the youth. We're not being productive because of this alcoholism, and the major reasons why it's becoming so spread is maybe because of the peer influence among the youths, maybe frustrations, maybe because of unemployment, depression. So people go into alcoholism to get rest from there. And what I would suggest is that maybe everyone, like the country, the government, to go ahead and educate, come up with programs that educate the youth about the effects, especially those that will really cause negative effects.
Alcoholism is whereby people drink beyond what you're supposed to, or rather you can't control yourself. And also the problem is sometimes it's not their fault because of the society. Yes, and also I believe when you put so many restrictions on something, that's when you really need to do that thing. For example, you put a restriction okay, there are so many restrictions, which is, it makes people more, they want it more. Okay, so maybe if they can just let people be, and they should strengthen their areas. Because I don't believe that the government doesn't know who's brewing what, especially in the villages, the illegal alcohol, illicit brews, they know everywhere. In the villages, you find that there have been women there who've been there throughout. She has been doing that for like 20 years. And even I remember Boni Khalala said it paid his mother, he brewed to pay his school fees, but they knew it's illegal. So if they want to do something, then they should do something. Other than that, they should stop bringing blame to people. I cannot speak on behalf of someone, but I think it's about an individual. There are those who can drink and can control themselves. There are those who need to just relax. There are those who follow pressure, peer pressure. So basically, I don't think you can also say that everyone that is a drunkard is not successful. I don't mean to say this on camera, but you all know the president drinks, and he's a very successful guy. With the way forward, okay, you can't blame people on the alcohol of death, okay, because someone goes to a place that he has been drinking for like a year or two. And then one day, because the brewer maybe is greedy, now decides to prepare something fast and quickly, which becomes poison, and then it kills people. This person has been going there for like a year. And the same thing I told you, the government, or rather the security agencies on the ground, they know these people. So you find like whenever the police are around, they just go, they're given their small thing, and then they go away. The lady continues to brew. I take alcohol, okay, and I know if the police come, I'll just tell the owner, the police are here, can you handle them, so that they stop bothering us. So how is that supposed to be legal when the government is like the security agents are agreeing with it? From the same thing as I told you, you drunk, okay, you drink, you drive, but you know there's a way out. So how can you control yourself when you know there's no one? You're not supposed to be controlled, yes, but you also know nothing will happen. And even if there is a way out. And with alcohol, you see, there's something, alcoholism is more like addiction. It's more like cigarette. You do something every day to it becomes a habit. There are those people, like, you remember Amy Winehouse, the musician? She was drinking, she was an alcoholic. So she stopped abruptly. She was even told not to. But she died because she stopped drinking alcohol. Well, first of all, for a young individual, first of all, it starts from the parents. Because if I am a parent, which I'm not, hopefully soon enough. Now, if you're a parent, right, and you're drinking around your children, and then there are those even that go as far as say, like, can you taste just kidogo? And then the kid starts going. And then those things that people ignore, especially the current parents, or the modern parents. They ignore so many things which you think is the current way of the society. And which are the same thing that the kids end up being obsessed, or they become addicted to alcohol. So first of all, I think I'll blame I'm not going to say that I blame the parents, but they should take action, because you can't lie to me that you don't know what your kid is doing. It's 10 o'clock, she's not around, then she comes, now I was with the friends. What do you mean I was with the friends?
My name is Benson, and I live in Nairobi. Basically, factors that bring in to the abuse of alcohol particularly is, I think most of it is about stress and social network. If I'm able to live with people around me that have that kind of character, I'm able to actually get involved. If you look into it very well, you'll have to find that some few suburbs within town have very many bars. And if I'm able to live in such areas, I'm able to actually be pulled into such kind of lifestyle and habits because of what I see around me. Mostly, alcohol has both negative factors, which you all know that it can actually impair your judgment. It can actually lead to loss of. It has actually brought up family breakups. It has done financial issues within the person's life. But basically, there is that social part, the social part of it, where you're able to meet people. Businesses have been made, ideas have been brought from the same alcohol. So it depends on how you utilize it. Overconsumption, they always say, is not good for your health, because basically overconsumption of something, any overconsumption of anything, even sugar, if you consume it to a highest level, you get diseases or something which will actually not work well with your body. I would advise that we have a habit. I would have seen Westerners that for every meal they have, they'll have a glass of wine. The only problem we have in Kenya is when we want to drink it, we drink it completely, fully, and finish. Or maybe drink until we don't have any coin in our pockets, or we have only fare back home. But actually, I would advise, if you're able to have just a beer after meal, or maybe go out, have a beer and water, that is the best you can do for yourself. Yes.
Reverend Kezia Wanchikuge Town from Waithaka. Kanisa ni Hope and Victory Ministry. What I understand about alcohol, for one, inakuwa inheritance, to inherit from your forefathers. The second thing, those who take alcohol, most of them, they have stress. They have stress. Others are idle. Idleness makes a person to take alcohol. You are idle, haujui cha kufanya, hauna maono. So what you do, just go into alcohol. So what I would advise people to do, those who are taking alcohol, ama sisi pia tunaweza kuwaambia wao, kwanza ni kufanyia counseling. Do them counseling. There's the question why they are taking. Wengine wanakuwa desperate sana na maisha. So we counsel them to be the way out. Bila unaweza toka katika hiyo hali ya alcoholism, because ina destroy hata your mind. Inafanya hata hauwezi kuwa na familia, because when you take alcohol you do many funny things which are not good. So advice yetu ni kwenda katika mashinani. Tunachukua hawa vijana kama tuseme ni kanisa, tunaweka kwa kanisa, tunafanya counseling, tunawaombea, tunawaambia the way out. Kama hana makazi, teach about starting businesses. Waanze kujidumu wao na hizo business ili wasiwe idle, because idleness nimeona limefanya wengi wakunywa hiyo mvinyo. Sababu kile kama hapa kwetu nakuta wengi wako hapa kwa barabara tu, wanakuomba tu 10 bob 20 bob, na ukiwapatia kazi hawawezi, because hata hawana nguvu ya kufanya nini kazi kwa sababu ya alcohol. So pia ningetaka kusema ni wafanyiwe counseling, na we love them. Tuwaende karibu na sisi, tuwapende, tujue ni ndugu zetu, watoto wetu. Tukifanya hivyo wataweza kusimama. Na hiyo jambo tumefanya hapa kwetu, tumejaribu kuwa na watu kama hao. We teach them the word of God, we pray. Matabiaga vile wangetaka kutoka lakini hawawezi. Si unaona? Kwa hivyo ni kitu kimeenda sana kuharibu our society, mostly the young people.
Now, those are some of the views that Kenyans have on the CBD concerning alcoholism, and there's so much to say about it. And we'll be going for a short break, but before we do, take a look at this clip.
But why do they drink so much?
Mimi nakunywa tangu nizaliwe. Wazazi wangu walikuwa napika hiyo ushago. Hata sasa hivi nakunywa. Na nitaendelea kukunywa hata watoto wangu watakuwa. Sasa ukinikataza hii, hapo ni mbaya sana.
Lazima tu niamke ndio nionje kitu akili fungu ndio nijue vile ndasol tena. Mimi sina job, mimi ni jobless na wife na mtoto mmoja.
And after the drink, these are the scenes that you will meet with. It is a big problem that people often drink poisoned alcohol, and this has led to death and loss of sight.
Tukakunywa. Sasa hata mimi nasikia tumbo. Really strong.
Macho ile inategemea wanaongeza uchanja. Uchanja kuna ile inaitwa methara, ile dawa ya mahiti. Ikiwekwa kwa hiyo sasa unajua sasa wewe hakuna hapo. Vile mahiti nakauka hata ndivyo wewe mwenyewe unakauka.
But are these people aware of the dangers that they are exposing themselves to?
Hata ukiaga dunia juu ya pombe, hiyo ni kama accident. Ni kama utaweza pita Mombasa Road huko igari ikugwa. Hiyo ni kama accident. Hata ukikunywa hii macho iende hata ukufe, accident.
Sisi hapana okopa. Pombe haina shida, haina madhara yote. Wanywaji ndio wanakwanga wajinga.
The most popular drink is chang'aa because it is affordable, brewed locally and readily available. And the source of the alcohol is this illegal brewery, a place called Rowe, which is in Mathare, one of Africa's oldest slums.
Sisi tunafanya hii job ati juu ya kutaka nijuezi ka idol na una watu wanakutegemea. Unaona?
Welcome back. Now, our guest today is the author of this book, Sober Again, How I Beat Alcoholism After 20 Years of Persistent Drinking. She has made it through thick and thin, and she is here as a testimony and also a hand of help and a voice of solution for those who are facing alcoholism today. Welcome. Now, let's start with who Anne Methu is. Introduce yourself.
My name is Anne Methu. I'm a recovering alcoholic and I'm a campaigner against alcohol and drug abuse. I abused alcohol for 20 years. I'm 9 years sober and I'm in this campaign with a passion because people are really suffering and many people do not believe that actually addiction is a disease, and that's why one of the reasons that I went public, for people to know that addiction is a disease and it's manageable. Though it's not curable, it's chronic, it's manageable.
Now, a glimpse into how it is that you got yourself involved with alcoholism and how you realized that there was a problem, your journey into it.
I started drinking I took my first drink actually when I was about 10 years old. I got my first drink from my dad, who had a drinking problem. He was a functional alcoholic, drinking and actually still functioning. And addiction is progressive, so people don't get addicted in a day. And I kept on graduating now with time. Although people can remain in one stage for a number of years, others will remain in one stage for about a number of months. So actually, when I started, it was not an everyday thing. It's when we used to drink when there is a party. We started with Moratina. My dad used to give me Moratina when I was small, and we thought that, you know, everything was cool. And I used to like my dad, going out with my dad, and, you know, then from Moratina I started taking Tusker. And then actually when I got to Form 1, my dad died. And from there is now when my drinking now became worse.
And you mentioned earlier that you actually even got children. How did your drinking affect them? What was your relationship like with your children during this time?
This time round, I didn't have a relationship with my children. And actually, my children were closer to my house girl more than they were close to me, because when they left for school, I was asleep. By the time they came from school, I'm not at home. Or if I'm at home, I'm high. I could not even help them with the homework, or I'll come when they are asleep. So at times I used to go for even 3-4 days without seeing my children, yet we are living in the same house.
Which was what I was going to get into. How did it affect them? Can you point out certain things that, you know, perhaps changed them as a result of your involvement with alcoholism?
It affected them very badly because children, we say addiction is a family disease because it's not only the person who is drinking who is affected, but everybody else who lives around that person. So my children, we didn't have any parent-child relationship. And if it was there, it was very, very poor.
Now I'm looking at a family setup. They have an individual who's an alcoholic and they don't know what to do. Or sometimes they call them a curse, or, you know, just shove them off like, you know, this is just a habit that you're picking up. What do you think the family's role is? How strong is it in either someone coming out of alcoholism or even getting into it if they're already in the initial stages?
Family members have to know that this person is sick, this is a disease, and this person needs help. Otherwise, if the family is not, does not understand that, it becomes very, very difficult for that person to get professional help. What I can tell them is not to lose hope. There is a way out. I would like to tell them that an addict is not a failure, that they are only down but not out. With treatment and rehabilitation, with professional help, they can spring back to life like me. Because actually, if I'm sober, I believe anybody else can be sober. It was difficult for me. I've managed it. They too can make it.
Fantastic. Well, you've had it from the lady herself, 9 years being sober after 20 years of that affliction. Such a powerful testimony. That goes to tell you that you too can. It's never too late. And remember, family members, you need to love on the people who are affected and not sideline them. It's a global problem, as she said, so government initiative also has to be involved. But we as individuals also have to make sure that we're taking care of our loved ones, our friends and families in order to stop this scourge. As she said it right, you can stop the habit. At Solutions Barabarani, I want to thank you so much, Anne Methu, for being here with us, being such an inspiration. And remember, you can send in your comments on 20058 or even questions that you may have for Miss Anne Methu and on how you can actually even acquire this particular book, quite a good one, Sober Again. Our Facebook page is WTV Kenya, Twitter handle is WTVKE, and our SMS line is 20058. That's it from me. Thank you so much for having been part of us, and remember that you can beat anything you choose to beat. My name is Wavinya Wanyasa. Bless you.